a real good feeling. This place is jumping off hard as it can get. No, we won't ever stop dancing on the edge. We like it dangerous, we like to see you split. Turn up another notch, you ain't seen nothing yet. Let me tell you something, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, let me tell you something. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Got a real good feeling. Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. I got a real good feeling.
Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video we have a ton of different fundamental and technical developments that we need to go over on Bitcoin, your favorite king of crypto, because guys, over the last couple of days we have not only seen the very beginnings of a new Bitcoin improvement proposal be passed called Taproot, which will be going active in roughly 5 months. We're going to be talking about that, but we've also seen some more tweets coming out of none other than your favorite king of crypto, I guess, the person, Elon Musk, lately. Every single time he tweets, the Bitcoin price moves, and this is no exception. He talked a little bit of sweet nothing in our ear again about Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has now moved to the upside. It's currently trading just a little over $40,000. We have much to go over in today's live stream, and I think you're going to get a lot of great value out of today's stream. If you do, as always, smash that like button. Let's see if we can't get to like 500 likes right off the bat. Guys, it's going to be a great stream, great week. I am joined, as always, by your president and my co-host, Kinda Crypto Tim. How you doing, Tim?
What's up, peeps? I'm here. I'm in the building. You know, sometimes on Mondays you get that temptation to say, you know what, had a nice resting weekend. Why not just give it one more day of rest? But
Yeah.
I said no. I'm coming in, so I'm here. A little tired, but hopefully that changes during the stream.
That's what coffee's for, my friend. Have you had any?
I didn't make my coffee
Tim.
this morning because I don't drink
Tim.
coffee because I don't do drugs. So
Bro, come on. We do drugs here all day. Look at this. I have coffee right there.
I don't like
I'm
putting
going to
drugs
get
in my
quoted on that, and it's going to be bad. There's going to be news articles written about that one. Guys, we're also joined, as always, by our producer, your one and only Smagatan. How you doing, Smag?
Hello, everybody. I have the trophy right here.
Yes, he has a trophy. He won last week, but we're going to see how that goes
team burn that truck
for this week, because we have some new price predictions, which, quite frankly, I can't remember. Do we go over those at the beginning of the stream or the end, Tim?
We will go over them at the end.
And so we shall. Guys, we have some more technical analysis and some more news to go over. First, though, we want to talk about Elon Musk so that we can go ahead and get this straight out of the way. You guys know my opinion on Elon Musk. I think he's a very intelligent man, but I really wish he would delete his Twitter account already. Someone said that. I was at a meeting with some other CEOs on Wednesday, and someone asked me, what do you think of Elon Musk? And I looked at them and I said, I think he should delete his Twitter account. That's what I said. Anyway, I'm joking. Freedom of speech, all of that. But let's go ahead and read what he said, because this, as always, has had an impact on the cryptocurrency market. Let's jump to my screen. Cointelegraph tweeted on the 13th, which was yesterday, Elon Musk is catching flack again, but what's in it for me? Signy CEO Maganda Not even gonna try and butcher that man's name. Lambasted him, saying, "We have seen Bitcoin as price manipulation. We have seen what we have seen with Bitcoin is price manipulation by one very powerful and influential individual." Now, you got to be careful with that word manipulation, because the word manipulation carries with it intent. If you say that someone is manipulating the market, you are saying that they are intentionally manipulating the market. Now, I'm not saying that Elon Musk is or is not manipulating the market. I don't have any proof that he is intentionally manipulating the market, so I'm not going to claim that he is. So you will not hear me on this channel say that Elon Musk is manipulating the market. He is, however, having a major impact on it, and this tweet that he responded to Cointelegraph with is just one more example of that. He said, "This is inaccurate. Tesla only sold roughly 10% of holdings to confirm Bitcoin could be liquidated easily without moving market." Something you guys have to realize about publicly traded companies is that they are beholden to their shareholders and the board of directors, and I guarantee you major shareholders and the board of directors of Tesla wanted to make sure that there was enough liquidity in this emerging market to make sure that if Bitcoin was to be liquidated, it could be done so quickly and effectively to ensure solvency of the investment that Tesla made into Bitcoin. Them selling 10% actually makes a whole lot of sense, so this is nothing to be concerned about, but it is news to my knowledge. I don't think we knew before this tweet that he had sold 10%. I might be wrong on that, but I don't think we had. He also says this: "When there's confirmation of reasonable, roughly 50% clean energy usage by miners and positive future trend, Tesla will resume allowing Bitcoin transactions." So let's go to full screen. Let's break this down. There's really 2 points here. Number one, he reminded us, no, Tesla has not sold all of their holdings. They've sold, if 10% is accurate, roughly $150 million worth of Bitcoin, likely on over-the-counter markets, meaning that it shouldn't have had an impact on the market. What has had an impact on the market is his second point, which is this: when there's confirmation of reasonable, roughly 50% clean energy usage by miners with positive future trends, Tesla will resume allowing Bitcoin transactions. Now, Tim was just telling me that Kevin O'Leary, also known as Mr. Wonderful, was saying that Elon Musk was probably being pressured by different individuals in his camp saying, hey, you need to be careful about this. You run a company that's supposed to be green. There's this big stigma against Bitcoin of it not being green, of it being brown or whatever. This makes a lot of sense, but here's the point. Whether or not Bitcoin becomes a green technology, the precedent has been set. A multi-hundred-billion-dollar company has now bought Bitcoin. It happened 3-4 months ago now. Whatever Tesla does may have short-term price action implications. Whatever Tesla and their CEO says on Twitter very well may result in short-term movements on the market. But the real news here was a one-time event. It was Tesla buying Bitcoin. It was a multi-hundred-billion-dollar publicly traded company investing in this new asset class, and that cannot be undone. History has been written and it'll go down in textbooks. So whatever Elon Musk tweets about is interesting for this week, but what Tesla, his company, did 6 months ago will be interesting for the rest of the history of cryptocurrency. So I implore you not to forget that. No matter what no matter what Elon Musk says might have short-term implications on the price, as this has seemingly had a bullish implication on the price, but it doesn't mean that long-term that anything has changed. So let's go ahead and discuss this. I want to hear what chat's thinking about this. And Tim, I know you have some thoughts on this. What is your thought on Elon Musk, and do you agree with my sentiment that he should probably just stop talking about Bitcoin at this point?
I mean, at the end of the day, you don't want to silence any single person.
Of course
so
not. I am not in any way saying that.
I think what we probably are getting, though, is the end of, like you said, it's going to be short price, plummets and rises. But ultimately, I think what he really did was he rattled the tree, and all the people who are Elon fanatics got out, and all the people who are like, hey, you know what, I don't care what Elon says, stayed in. Mm-hmm. So ultimately, whether he gets in, whether he gets out, we have found that it has no implication of if Bitcoin is actually a good project or not. It doesn't mean anything. So I think what it's going to get to is Elon, say whatever opinion you want. Cool. Your opinion doesn't matter on the success level of Bitcoin, which is exactly what we need Bitcoin to be. However, we will say, and we've been saying this for a while, I think most of you in the audience are probably on the same page that we are, is that we kind of saw this happening. This was pretty evident. Like I was telling Jeb, Kevin O'Leary came out and pretty much said, you guys, the only reason why Elon did that was because he probably was pressured by his company and his stockholders. Someone says it's Tesla in the super chat, not Tesla.
People have been telling me that for a long time. I know. I say it just to annoy
Michael
people.
Saylor.
Michael Saylor.
Anyway, so ultimately, we knew this was going to happen. Even the tweet that was cryptic, where it was like a broken heart and it was a breakup, one of the tweets was literally like, "I miss you," and it's like, man, like, I guess theoretically speaking, he could have been saying he's done with Bitcoin, but like, I was like, I saw it, like, man, like, no, he likes Bitcoin.
He's just trolling.
Ultimately,
he's a troll.
Well, no, another thing that happened was he actually got in trouble because remember that tweet that someone said like, "Oh, you'll be sad when Tesla sells all their shares and Bitcoin," and Elon laughs in your face, and he responded, "Indeed," or whatever. Well, I guess he got like fined or something because that's a violation and it looked like insider trading. So ultimately, I think what he found out was, you know what, screw this. Let me just troll as many people as possible and do whatever I want to do in the background.
Yep.
And I think he's never been against Bitcoin.
Yep.
I think he did want to pressure miners to become green. I do think that he was pressured by his shareholders that you're a green company. How can you be supporting something that at this point isn't green?
Yep.
Ultimately, though, he has always loved Bitcoin. He will continue to love Bitcoin, but it just doesn't matter. Bitcoin will succeed without him or with him.
Yeah, and this is something I've been saying for a while, guys. Hit the like button. I've been saying that for a while. No, but seriously, what I have been telling you guys for a while is that what Elon Musk has right now is a massive business opportunity that no one is talking about. He runs a green company, and he's demanding that one of the fastest growing industries in the world become a green industry. That is a multi-hundred-billion-dollar business opportunity that seems to be being ignored right now. I would be very surprised if inside of Tesla there are not massive amounts of research and development going on for different kinds of green miners. I would be very surprised if in their business development partners and departments, they aren't looking for different companies and mining pools so that they can be helping to sell renewable products to them. They're looking for places to sell their product. They're a business. I'm a business owner. I do the exact same thing. If there's somewhere that I can do business, I'm going to. I would be very surprised if that isn't happening. And by the way, if that occurs, then one of the largest technology companies in the world, named Tesla, or Tesla, depending on who you want to annoy, will be moving forward with that and helping to advance this industry from a corporate level with hundreds of billions of dollars of backing. That cannot be ignored. So no matter what Tesla and Elon Musk says about Bitcoin right now, their interest in this space is only going to help Bitcoin, especially as entire countries now are adopting it. With that said, if you're enjoying today's stream, make sure to hit that like button. If you're new here, consider subscribing. We go live at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, 5 days a week. And also make sure to follow us on social media, at CryptoJeb over on Twitter and Instagram, and at CryptoJeb Official over on TikTok. Let's go ahead and read that
we got
super chat.
Super chats and there's some other comments. So the super chat from Bring Facts. What a great name.
That is a great
Love that name. He said, shout out to the CT2A for giving me this super chat money and then some.
There we go.
Thanks, Jeb. Started the course nearly a year ago. I still go back to it. Best investment in myself ever.
Good deal.
Love it. I love it.
I love hearing that, guys. If you don't know what the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy is, also known as CT2A, let me show you real quick. I have it over here. Let's jump on my screen. CT2A is the academy that I made over 2.5 years ago now. It's actually turning 3 in about 3 months. This is a course where I have 36 videos and over 12 hours of high-quality educational content teaching you everything you need to know to have a firm foundation in technical analysis so that you can profitably trade and invest in these markets. Give me a 1 in chat if you're interested in making money in cryptocurrency. I know I am. Technical analysis is anatomy to a surgeon. It is mechanics to a mechanic. It is math to a scientist. You gotta know technical analysis if you want to be profitable in this market. And I have always said, and I've always believed, that the best investment you can make is not in Bitcoin or Ethereum or stocks. It is in your own mindset, because you can make money anywhere. But the key word there is you can. You can. It has to be you investing in yourself, and can. It's not going to be happening just because you want it to. You got to work for it. If you want to work for it, and if you want to learn, I encourage you to check us out with the link in the description.
Before we move on, Smay, did you have any thoughts on Elon? Because I know you voice things from time to time in the office. I don't know if you want to say them. It seems like recently, Smay, you've been a little shy to the camera.
Yeah, what's going on,
It seems like we pass it to you and you don't have much to say.
I mean,
something happen with the
I really do have nothing to say. Elon, he's a funny guy. I like him.
Cool. And by the way, guys, I am not in any way, shape, or form saying that we should censor or cancel Elon. No. Just to clarify, me saying earlier that I wish he would delete his Twitter account, that does not mean that I am calling for that. Bitcoin is the penultimate example of the fight against cancel culture, if you will. That's not something I stand for. Just want to go ahead and clarify that. But we are going to go ahead and move on to some Bitcoin technical analysis, because if you follow us on Twitter, you will see the analysis that I was doing this morning. Let's go ahead and jump to my screen, and I'll show you what all of my analysis looks like together, and then we're going to break it down on its most
a fun
basic
one. Yeah, he
level.
showed me before the stream.
I showed
makes
Tim.
no sense.
This is my analysis right now, just so you guys know. We are not going to be trying to do analysis on this chart. What I am going to do is I'm going to jump over to another chart, and we're going to start from scratch so that you guys can follow along nice and easily. I promise you I'm going to hold your hand through this. So let's go ahead and get started. We got to start on a blank chart. This is what we're going to call blank-to-bank technical analysis. We typically do this in about 2 minutes, but it's going to take a little bit longer. Let's start from scratch, and let's build our way up. As you guys know, the last 2 days, Bitcoin has been in a rally. In fact, opening yesterday, Bitcoin was sitting at $35,500. It has rallied over the last 48 hours, roughly about 36 hours actually, 15% up to $40,700. There is reason to believe that this may have happened as a result of Elon Musk's tweet, but I have many other technicals that predicted this movement as well. In fact, if you guys remember, I predicted a $42,000 Bitcoin for last Friday. I think that prediction is going to come true, just the timing was a little bit off. Let me show you why. The very first thing I want to show you is down here on the 4-hourly chart. We need to start with some trend line analysis. It's very important that we start there. Bitcoin right now has 3 major trend lines that we want to pay attention to. Number 1, on the 4-hourly chart, we can see this downtrending level of resistance, now support, shown right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 levels. This is important because we have to lay a foundation somewhere. When we're starting technical analysis, we don't want to start with the end. We don't want to start here with all of this charting. We want to start very simply. If you see, you can tell this trend line is on both of my charts. So the next trend line I want to show you is actually another it is, instead of a downtrend, it is an uptrend. You can see it on my chart right here. This uptrending level of support, we're going to draw from these wicks, and it looks like this. What we saw Bitcoin doing based on these wicks back here was moving into an uptrend that we actually broke bearish out of. Now, a lot of people were concerned that we were going to pull all the way back down to like $20,000 or something because of this breakout. The reason for that is because this is technically a bear pennant. Notice this symmetrical triangle pattern right here. Generally speaking, you will break in the same direction that you moved into this with a price target like this. If you follow this technical analysis, that gives you a, $8,000 price target. I told you guys that that is very unlikely, and Bitcoin would probably bounce above 32. It's exactly what happened. This uptrend, however, is still relevant, even though we didn't manage to stay below it. Reason being is because we actually broke above it, and depending on how you draw this, if you draw it a little bit differently right here, you can see we may actually still be using it as support. So what did Bitcoin do here? We broke the resistance, we broke above the support, so we've actually, in effect, broken 2 resistance levels at the exact same time. Over the last 24 hours, Bitcoin broke 2 resistance levels at the very same time. In doing so, not only did it break major resistance levels, it also completed the inverse head and shoulders pattern that we talked about on this channel on Thursday, I think it was. This inverse head and shoulders pattern has a price target. If we draw our neckline right here and we draw our price target, this is predicting a $44,000 Bitcoin, which actually coincides with some Fibonacci analysis that we're about to do here in a second. But if we go ahead and break all this down, then you can see where we are so far. What we have covered to this point, because I want to make sure that we're not missing anything. We have a level of resistance, a level of support. We've broken both of them. Bitcoin's in an uptrend, and it is executing this inverse head and shoulders pattern. That's what we've done so far. So let's zoom out to the daily chart. And before I do, actually, I want to draw you one more trend line, and it's this one. This trend line right here shows that Bitcoin was in a falling trading channel, a descending trading channel that we've now broken out of. That is a very good sign. But there's something else that we need to look at here on this level of support, and that would be shown out here on the daily chart. I showed you guys this last week, but I want to show it to you guys again for anyone who missed it. We have that downtrending level of support, but we have an uptrending level of support on the RSI. This is what is known as bullish RSI divergence. Bullish RSI divergence is very important. RSI divergence is very simply when you have a support level trending in the opposite direction as the support level on the RSI. Opposite support level on the bottoms, not the tops, the bottoms of the price action in comparison to the bottoms of the RSI. If you see that, it is almost always going to result in upwards movement on Bitcoin. I don't have time right now to show you back analysis on that, but if you research it, you will find almost always whenever you see bullish RSI divergence, you're going to move to the upside. We talked about this 4 days ago. It predicted this movement, and this movement is now coming true. If you need any proof that technical analysis works, there you go. Let's keep going here. There's a couple more things I want to show before we break. We're going to talk about this with the chat. I'm going to let Tim weigh in a little bit, and then we're going to go into some more of the detailed things. 2 final things I want to show you before we continue. Number 1, the 20 exponential moving average has been broken. For any of you guys in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, the second to last video in the entire course is a video on the 20 exponential moving average. The reason we have an entire video on one version of a moving average is because this moving average almost always is a very fine predictor of uptrends and downtrends. Bitcoin has now broken it. If you'll notice, Bitcoin has been below this moving average, this exponential moving average, since May the 12th, indicating that we're in a strong downtrend. Now, though, we've broken bullish above it. That is a very important trend that we cannot ignore. Switching the side of the 20 EMA that we are on is incredibly important, and I cannot understate that. One final thing I will show you guys before we go and before we break for just a second to make sure we've internalized all this is that the MACD is very bullish, and in fact, the histogram bar is the highest that it has been in a very long time, ever since March of 2020, and we're about to break above that as well. This is something you can do on MACD, is do histogram bar analysis. Notice we've actually broken our previous high on histogram back in March. This is the highest the histogram bars have been since February. That means that we are seeing the strongest bullish MACD divergence that we have seen in 5 months. All of these are very bullish signs, and they back up the price prediction that you'll hear from me coming in a little bit, and they'll back up the reason why I think Bitcoin will probably be rallying to the mid-40s over the next couple of weeks. So let's go to full screen. Let's break this down. Let's discuss. Any questions you guys have, we are more than welcome to answer. Make sure to leave some feedback in the chat. Let's start a discussion here for a couple minutes. What do you think about this, Town?
Well, I'll actually... Ben Lay in chat, shout out to Ben. He said he sees a kind of a tracement back to 35,000 before we get up to 44.
Okay.
So I asked him why, because the truth is there is something that I'm kind of working through and trying to analyze that I see something similar, but I wanted to see what he was getting at. Ultimately, I wasn't going to say too much about this because there's a lot more I need to research and learn before I say that. But I've been looking at a lot of the Wyckoff accumulation distribution. And the reason why I can't say for certain that that's exactly what's happening right now is because it is different. Unlike what we just saw with the Wyckoff distribution coming down bearish, we saw almost match for match, point for point. There was a couple things that were a little inconsistent, but that happens. Fundamentals, throw things off at times. But overall, it stuck to it. Whereas right now, there's a lot of similarities between our sideways movement and the accumulation phase, but there are some differences. However, if it were the case, and I know you guys can't see my chart, but if you guys are looking at, I'm going to say the dates that you guys can look at candlesticks on the daily. I'm going to go to the daily chart actually real quick. If you look at the dates of these candlesticks, if you look at where we were on the 21st of May, where we were on the 27th of May, where we were on the 4th of June, and then where we were somewhere around, let's put it here, the 11th, 12th of June. You're gonna find we're drawing a descending line. So if you were to look at the accumulation stage or phase of Wyckoff, it has that happening. It has those candle bodies going down, creating lower highs all the way through. But then it has it says it springs. So we would have sprung right here over the weekend where we came down to about 31. So I guess we technically came down to a 30, right below 31. A spring happens where we cross that level of resistance. We hit our head on something else, and then we bounce back down. That resistance turns into support, which, if my timeline is correct, it would put it somewhere close to that 35. Now, like I said, there are some things we're not doing quite like Wyckoff says, which is why I think I can't confirm, based off of what I've done my research on, that this is for sure a Wyckoff distribution accumulation phase. However, if it is, Ben, you would be absolutely correct. We probably will correct for 35. But just so you guys know, if we corrected that 35, if that does confirm the Wyckoff accumulation phase, we will see a very sharp and quick rally up back, from what I was looking at, probably above 50,000. So if it does go to 35, that actually might be very, very bullish sign for Bitcoin. It could mean that we are done moving sideways and we're going to resume a bull trend. However, I see a lot of people saying in the comments, wrong, which is exactly why I said it's too early to confirm all of that.
I personally don't agree that we're going to go to 35,000, and I'll show you guys why. Yes. Before I do, though, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the post notification bell, guys. We go live 9:30, 5 days a week, and you're not going to want to miss it. We're doing some fantastic technical analysis, if I do say so myself, every single day. Make sure to tune in. Guys, let me show you what my take is on this. Now, Wyckoff is a very interesting pattern, but the thing about Wyckoff that you got to understand is that it is just one technical indicator. And that's obvious, guys. One technical, one chart formation. You got to make sure you take it with a grain of salt because there's so many different angles. That's why I try to show you guys as many different technicals as possible. Now, there's a lot of validity to what Tim's saying. I'm not discounting that in the slightest, but I want to show you guys another perspective as well. What I'm seeing right now on Bitcoin is that as we're above the 20 daily EMA, and this is the point I was making earlier, as we're above the 20 daily EMA, this downtrending level of support and this uptrending level of support, what we're effectively seeing is that there is now a zone of support roughly in between $36,500 and $38,200. That right there is going to be difficult for Bitcoin to break below, especially considering if we look at the volume, right now, Bitcoin's volume is quite low. Now, why would low volume indicate that the support's going to be stronger? Let me break that down. If Bitcoin has rallied this far on low volume, it indicates to me that even when there's not much activity going on in the market, the bulls are still in charge. That is actually a decent sign. If we saw massive amounts of volatility when we went into a big rally, you might be able to say that this was just a hype movement. You might be able to say this was just a movement because everybody got really excited and that was going to wane. But I think based on the fact that we're seeing this 14-15% movement to the upside, and we're seeing it move above such critical levels of resistance such as the 20 daily EMA on low volume, that this might be able to grow into a sustained trend. Now, it is possible that we pull back to the $35,000 region. Let me show you why. We actually have some very strong support at 35. I'm not discounting that in the slightest. It is possible that we move back there. In fact, I think I have that support level on my other chart over here. I don't, but it is something I've been looking at. I don't personally think it's going to happen, but it is something you guys want to keep in mind because I'm obviously not going to be right every single time. Polvito said in chat, if TA is right, then prove it by winning the price prediction every single week. Technical analysis is not and never has been and never will be a game of certainties, as we talk about in this video over here in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. It is a game of statistics and probabilities. It is never going to give you certainties, so you got to keep in mind all sides because you never really know exactly what the market's going to do. Technical analysis is designed not to give you proof, but it is, however, designed to give you perspective. That's what you want to take away from this.
Well, I do want to clarify because I am not saying Jeb and I aren't in a disagreement.
No, not at all.
I was saying looking at something that ultimately I can't just say I feel something. Like I've seen people say in chat, the psychology. Like I think Christos, he was saying, the psychology is just there. The psychology, we're not going to go that low again. Well, we would have said the same thing a while ago. Ultimately, sometimes you have to distance your emotions and your feelings and your psychology and sometimes just listen and look at what is happening. By no means do I know for certain that this is going to follow the Wyckoff system, but ultimately it is something we have to have our mind on, and it doesn't make me say, I need to sell what I have in Bitcoin.
Sure.
It makes me say, okay, that's something that would happen that would even add to my positioning to long the market right now and to make money in the future, because if Wyckoff happens the way it said it should, we'll touch down at 35 or somewhere around 35 and then blast off, like I said, over 50 within the next coming weeks. So ultimately, it's not a confirmation. It is a, hey, if that happens, you guys can look back and say, oh, that's why it happened.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, I could easily see Bitcoin pulling down to 38,000 and blasting off. I am very much in alignment with Tim. I just disagree a little bit on the exact number.
Yeah.
So with that said, let me go ahead and break down a couple more technicals. I don't want to go into everything here. We're going to leave some of this for tomorrow's stream because I don't want to go too long. We have some fundamental analysis that we need to get into, some fundamental developments happening on the Bitcoin blockchain that we need to get into. A lot of you guys in chat are asking me to look at the shorts and longs. So I actually do want to do that because I was looking at them this morning. Let's take a look at Bitcoin shorts. Bitcoin shorts, ever since the beginning of June, have increased by a couple orders of magnitude. We have rallied 2,500% on the short positions. Bitcoin rallied on Bitfinex from 800 short positions to 20,500. Now that's very interesting because if we go back to the Bitcoin chart and we overlay Bitcoin shorts, let's go BTC USD shorts over Bitcoin, you will notice, if I get a functioning chart here, that over the last couple of days, I don't know if there we go, you can see that Bitcoin shorts have been rallying in tandem with the Bitcoin price. Bitcoin shorts have massively increased as Bitcoin has been rallying. Now here's the thing. I think a lot of these shorts are going to get liquidated because most of these shorts were entered down here around 33,000. There are a massive number of unprofitable shorts right now. But the contrarian would also say, but Jeb, there are a massive number of unprofitable longs right now. There have been longs increasing a crazy amount. They've doubled since May. May the 12th, Bitcoin longs, on Bitfinex were sitting at 26,700. They're now sitting at 48,000. Here's what I think is happening right now. There are a lot of people betting that Bitcoin is going to keep going down because of a basic understanding of technical analysis, seeing that we are in a descending triangle pattern, a descending pennant, a bear flag, whatever you want to call it. They're seeing Bitcoin being moved so much by major power players such as Elon Musk, and they're concerned about it, right? I don't think that's going to come to pass. Most of those short positions, notice over here on the shorts, that shorts have barely increased ever since June the 9th. Well, ever since June the 9th, Bitcoin has rallied from $33,000, even at the highest of $37,000, all the way up to $40,000. That means all of those shorts, whether they're on leverage or not, are at a loss. A lot of them are on leverage, and those leverage shorts, when people start getting out of them or if Bitcoin starts rallying, it can cause what is known as a short squeeze. I've witnessed in my career doing technical analysis, Bitcoin's price nearly doubled in the span of an hour because of a short squeeze. A short squeeze happens when the price starts moving up, trader gets liquidated, which causes the price to move up because they had to sell, causing a trader to get liquidated, causing the price to move up. You get it. It's a domino reaction, and it's something we do want to be watching out for. Vast majority of the market right now thinks we're going to move to the downside, and those people are in short positions right now. Many of them over leveraged, not using stop losses the way that they should be, and we've seen multiple times in the past. Even this correction was caused by a long squeeze where the longs crashed, everybody got liquidated, and the price pulled back even farther. For everyone in short positions right now, I'm not telling you what you should be trading like. That is not my position because I am not you. However, I'd be careful about being in a short right now because you're in a camp with a lot of people that might be about to get squeezed. We're seeing fear and greed index start to come back. We're seeing a ton of technical indicators indicating that we're about to go into a new rally, probably up to around $43,000. And with that said, I'm going to show you where I get that number, and I'm going to leave that technical analysis for the I'm going to leave the rest of our technical analysis for tomorrow's stream because we do have to move on. However, the final thing I want to show you guys is this. Based on what you can see on this chart with my repository of TA that I'm not going to be bothering you with right now, I have two Fibonacci retracement. I have a Fibonacci retracement and a Fibonacci, two Fibonacci extension levels actually. I'm going to draw the first one as our Fibonacci retracement right here, and you'll notice that we have a level of resistance sitting here at $43,700. We also have a level of resistance sitting here at $38,600, which guess what? We actually broke out of yesterday. Very bullish sign that we're breaking to the upside from Fibonacci retracement. I'm also going to draw another Fibonacci retracement level from the beginning of this bull market. Now, whether you started here on September the 3rd or you started back here on July the 16th, doesn't really matter. It's going to come out to roughly the same number. I would, however, encourage you not to start your Fibonacci retracement from the 13th of March bottom at $3,800. Main reason because I would call this an outlier. Market really didn't start the bull market until here. If I go ahead and just cut out this little box of TA, this little price action, then notice we're basically just trading sideways right here, and the bull market really started right here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my Fibonacci extension from right here, but you can also start it from right here in early September. Either way, we're going to come out to a very similar prediction. If we draw all the way up to the top, notice that these two levels, they're actually the exact same level. They're the 38.2% level on this Fibonacci and on this Fibonacci. Both 38.2% levels show up at the exact same price target. My Fibonacci just disappeared. Let's put that back there. I don't know where it went. And both of them are sitting right on top of each other. Literally, they're both there, just so you see. They're both sitting right on top of each other at $43,700. So, I personally think that Bitcoin, based on everything that we've just seen, is more than likely going to rally to somewhere around $43,000, and I have one more reason for believing that. $43,000 is not just the convergence, which, by the way, convergence of support and resistance is very important. We have an entire video on that over here, the convergence of support and resistance. When you see support and resistance being shown by multiple technical indicators or multiple chart formations, you should pay attention to that. In this case, we also have a third, and it's this bottom right over here. In February, when Bitcoin pulled back, we bottomed out at $43,700 and change. So we have three levels of support and resistance sitting at exactly $43,700. My prediction is this. Over the next 7 days or so, we're going to rally up to $43,700. We're probably going to hit our head. I'm not saying necessarily that we're going to go into a massive rally unless that short squeeze happens. If the short squeeze doesn't happen, we'll probably pull back again, correcting to around $40,000 and then rally. If the short squeeze happens, though, we'll probably blast off. All of that is yet to be determined, but that is my perspective at the moment. Let's go to full screen. Let's discuss this, and then we're going to move into some news about a new Bitcoin improvement. What do you think about that, Tim?
I am trying to go back and find all of the because I missed a super chat, which is a no.
Damn.
I cannot. But I went back and I got it. So, but no. Overall, there's a lot of people going back and forth in the chat, loving the Fibonacci. Some people, even more affirmation about technical analysis. People taking your course saying this has helped them so much.
Good deal.
Yeah, some people are asking who's Fibonacci. In case you're wondering more about that Fibonacci, if you have not taken CT2A, there's a whole video dedicated to what the Fibonacci retracement is and why it's so useful. Let me see. Anything
And by the way,
else?
guys, while he's looking for those super chats, make sure to hit that like button. Just in case you don't know, somehow, even though YouTube's been around for 13 years, whenever you hit the like button, it helps out our channel here in the algorithm. So we're very much appreciative for everyone who does that. Let's see if we can't get to 1,000 likes. There's almost 3,000 people watching. I very much appreciate everybody who tunes in every single morning. Let's see if we can't read some of those.
There's a couple comments and we'll get to super chats here in just a second. There's a couple comments in chat, though, people asking for Ethereum technical analysis. That is something we're planning to do towards the end of the stream. Something we weren't planning to do, but we could. Chaz says that ADA has gone missing. ... Cardano has always been at least in this bull cycle, has always seemed to do whatever it wants to do. And the minute you think it's going down is when it goes up, and the minute you think it's going up is when it goes down. Us not having a clue as to what Cardano is going to do might be good for all of us. Overall, I do think we're going to see it go up. However, yeah, Cardano does seem to sometimes just go dead silent and not do anything whatsoever.
That's how it rolls. Let's answer a couple of super chats, and then we're going to move on to some news that I'm going to need some time to break down.
There were some good ones. One of them from Mike Goodman. He said, would it make sense if BlackRock, top Tesla investor, threatened Elon because Tesla competes against their other top investors, GE and Ford?
Guys, these companies are cutthroat. They have shareholders to report to and board of directors holding them accountable. That would not surprise me in the slightest. Now, I don't know a thing about that except what you just said in your super chat. I'm not saying whether or not it happened because I don't know, but I can tell you this, it would not surprise me at all. These companies are beholden to their shareholders, and especially the Western business model is you think about your shareholders even before you think about your customers and your employees, which if you're wondering why some businesses aren't run very well, that would be why, but that's a whole spiel for another video.
Yeah. Next one, and this is a little out of order because, like I said, I had to chase one that I missed, so I'm going to ask a little bit out of order. But Bread the Guru said gold is 70 times silver, Bitcoin is 200 times Litecoin. Founder sold all of his Litecoin back in 2018, previously broke that all-time high from 2018, but only by 20 to 30%, while all the other altcoins crushed their previous all-time highs by 3x.
You know why that is? It's because most of those other altcoins that have an actual use case Here's my qualm with Litecoin. It's the same qualm that you have with silver. I picked up this qualm terminology from you, Tim.
I'm sorry.
You've infected
it's my
me.
bad. I'm sorry.
You've infected me.
I've decided I'm never saying the word ever again.
Oh, okay.
I'm just completely removing.
Okay.
I've said this several times on stream, guys. I definitely don't speak a second language because I don't even speak English that well.
I feel that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, here's the thing, guys. The same reason I have a problem with Litecoin is the same reason that investors over the last, 3,000 years have had a problem with silver. It is simply annoying to have two different currencies that you have to utilize. You just want to use one. That's why when paper currency started happening in China, it spread throughout the rest of the world over the next couple of centuries, over the next millennia or so, because it's much easier to have paper money backed by gold rather than having to carry around physical gold and physical silver. Litecoin's use case being a faster Bitcoin simply makes no sense, especially in light of what we're about to talk about with Taproot, Lightning Network, Segwit, all these things coming to Bitcoin that are allowing for Bitcoin to become the cryptocurrency, not just the crypto commodity that we want it to be. The problem with Litecoin is the same problem that silver has. India, China, and multiple other nations went onto a silver standard and they got left behind, and they're still feeling the effects of that in their gross domestic product and GDP per capita to this day because they didn't adopt the correct standard, which was the gold standard. I can go all day about that. There's a reason I'm not investing in Litecoin, even though it was the first cryptocurrency I ever bought. Yeah. So let's answer one more, and then we got to get moving.
Yep, and then it's the only one I think we have, unless for some reason I missed another one, but I don't think I did because I scrolled up pretty far. Gabriel Avila says, good morning, and I see the problem right here. Good morning, I'm trying to sign up for CT2A and pay via Bitcoin, but the support at CryptoJeb email is giving me an undeliverable mail message. So,
really?
Gabriel, well, here... I will spell out the spelling error. You said support, SUPPORT. That's right. And then for CryptoJeb, you said CRYT. That's CryptoJeb, not Crypt Crypto.
Tell us if there's anywhere on our anything that we have a thing misspelled, and we'll fix
if we
that
have
right
something
away.
misspelled, we definitely need to know that. But what you put in the comment, maybe you typed it that way, but if you are emailing so it's support@cryptojeb.com.
Yep.
That is our
No, that's
email
right. It's
service,
right.
so-
It's right in the. It's correct in the.
I'm hoping you just had a
thing.
typo. Try it again. Switch the T and the P.
If it doesn't work, you can also send an email to cryptojeb@gmail.com. We're trying not to,
Please
but
don't, actually.
but if you well,
please don't.
okay. Well, never mind. Tim's in charge of the management of all that, so
If you guys are in CT2A and you finish it, I literally almost cringe every single time because at the end of all the videos he says, if you have any questions, please email me at cryptojeb@gmail.com.
I was talking about it as a backup. Please don't. Try and use the official support email. Anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and move on, and we're going to talk about something called Taproot. Let's jump onto my screen. And unless you're a blockchain developer, you're not going to understand most of this. I'm not saying that to insult you. This is complicated. I'm not even going to try and explain everything, but I am going to link you to an article if you're interested in learning more about it. I'm going to boil this down very simply for any of you guys who are not blockchain developers, which is probably 90% of you or more. Taproot is coming, what it is, and how it will benefit Bitcoin. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this article. I do want to show it to you, though, so you have this as a resource. This is over on Bitcoin Magazine. You can find this simply by typing it into Google. It talks about P2SH, Mast, Schnorr, and Taproot. These are the main words that you need to be researching. Mast talks about Merkleized abstract syntax trees. Schnorr signatures are a very important part of this update, and these combine into something called Taproot. Not going to go into the blockchain dev behind that. Make sure to check that out on your own. But what I am going to do is I'm going to talk about the adoption of this and what this means for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, because at the end of the day, you need to know what this means, not necessarily how exactly it works. Locked in, Bitcoin's Taproot upgrade gets a 90% mandate. This is the first update to Bitcoin since SegWit in 2017. There has not been an update to Bitcoin since, because to update Bitcoin, you have to have a super ultra mega majority of the miners agreeing to update the network, and that's not easy to do. There is no centralization, which means you have to get everybody to agree on this. You can't get 90% of people to agree the sky is blue, let alone to upgrade the network with something that most people don't even understand. That being said, this has now happened, which is a testament to how valuable it's probably going to be for Bitcoin. As we can see here in this chart, this is a representation of 2016 blocks over the last 2 weeks. Every single green block is a block that signaled that they were in favor of this upgrade. Every red block was a block that did not signal that they were in favor of this upgrade. That doesn't mean that they signaled they weren't in favor of it. It just means that they did not vote yes. You can either vote yes or not vote. That's the way this works. All of these blocks, which by the way makes it even harder, because if you just don't vote and you're an uninformed voter and you don't go to the poll, that's basically counted as a no. It's very hard to pass updates on Bitcoin. That's why they don't happen very often. Let's go ahead and back up just for a second. According to the parameters set forward by Speedy Trial, which is the way of gathering consensus and updating the network, if at least 90% of the blocks mined in any of the designated 2-week difficulty periods signal their support for the upgrade, then the activation process can begin. That has now happened. To be more precise, 1,815 of the 2016 blocks mined within a period have to include a little piece of encoded information that indicates that the miner who has mined the block is now in favor of the upgrade. So cool. We know this upgrade has now passed. What is it? Well, I have a note, and it talks about what the main 3 things are. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to our notes here that we have for every single stream. Here are the 3 main points to take away from this. Number 1, this will improve Bitcoin's use cases of smart contracts. Not going to go into the dev behind that, but that is something that you should be aware of. Smart contracts are going to be a lot easier on Bitcoin. They were technically feasible before, but they will be a lot easier as they are now backed by technology that will help them with that. Number 2, this will heavily increase the security of Bitcoin transactions and smart contracts, making it much harder to track down the location and wallet type of anyone sending these types of transactions over the Bitcoin network. This is a big deal for the advancement of security, and this is possibly one of the most important ones. This will make this has the potential to make Bitcoin usable in commerce in a much more simple and effective manner. Now, jumping back over to this article, we can see right here what we're talking about. What happens next? From there, it will be up to developers in the Bitcoin ecosystem to make use of the tools that the Taproot upgrade brings to the table. Specifically, Schnorr signatures, which will replace Bitcoin's current elliptical curve digital signature algorithm, ECDSA, is coming. This, for anyone in blockchain dev, is the holy grail. Everybody in blockchain development on Bitcoin has been begging for Schnorr signatures for years. They are now coming, much to everyone's delight. These smaller and faster Schnorr signatures also have the added benefit of being linear and sounding really cool. A combination that will boost Bitcoin's transactional privacy and enjoyment of understanding blockchain dev, and allow for more lightweight and complex smart contracts, an encoded contract with self-executing rules, in case you didn't know. In the long run, Taproot's tooling and coding improvements will translate to a better user experience for Bitcoiners in terms of overall performance, as well as privacy implementations to multi-sig technology, privacy software, and even helping scaling technology like the Lightning Network, which I personally believe is going to be one of the crucial steps towards mass adoption of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I will wrap out this point with 2 minor points. Number 1, Bitcoin to become the cryptocurrency, not just the crypto commodity that we want it to be. Either one needs to have another currency built on top of it in the same way the US dollar was built on gold and have a second layer currency. That's not ideal because that means that you could always pull Bitcoin out from under the rug the same way we pull gold out from under the US dollar. Don't want that to happen. That is what Safadine almost believes will happen in the Bitcoin standard. I personally would much prefer decentralized layer 2 solutions such as Lightning Network to provide that scalability so that the 200,000 transactions a second that are likely needed to support a global economy can happen on Bitcoin itself, rendered through Lightning Network and the Bitcoin ecosystem. Taproot is going to be helping with Lightning Network. That is a very important situation. Number 2, for Bitcoin to continue to scale and continue to evolve, it needs to be able to have upgrades coming through. Obviously, this is what a lot of blockchain developers have been asking for a very long time for multiple different reasons that I don't have time to go into in today's stream, but I can tell you this is a very good update and one that blockchain developers everywhere are very excited to see. Like I said, if you would like, I did link the article earlier that you can go and read more of the details about this, but I want to throw it back to Tim and hear what you think about this, and let's hear what chat is thinking about this.
We're going to go straight to chat because ultimately Tim hasn't been in this long enough to know all these things. I've heard Jeb mention these things from time to time, but I am still a little bit too new to the space to fully appreciate the history of all the upgrades that have come to Bitcoin. A good question that someone did just ask from DJ Popping, I think. I don't know. DJ Popping, I guess. Just interesting spelling. He said, will Taproot make Bitcoin compete with Ethereum and Cardano?
No, I don't personally think so. Bitcoin, no matter what updates we do to it, simply does not have the transactional throughput to be able to handle the level of smart contracts that Ethereum and, well, not Ethereum, but Cardano is capable of doing with its different updates coming out. That's not even really the point of this. The point of these smart contracts being able to happen has a lot to do with multi-signature transactions. Smart contracts are utilized in multiple different ways. Smart contracts that are being developed on Bitcoin right now are not attempting to do the exact same thing that they're attempting to do on Ethereum. We're not trying to build DeFi on top of Bitcoin, at least to my knowledge. Now, hands up, I am not a blockchain developer, so take everything I'm saying right here with a grain of salt. Ivan on Tech is a great guy to go and look at that. But to answer your question simply, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, even Josh Burson just said, hey, no. The answer to that is no. The block size of Bitcoin is just too small to scale with ADA. So.
Someone said I was schnoring and my wife hit me.
That's why I comment on that one. Yeah, that was funny.
That's funny.
That is funny.
Yeah, no, Bitcoin's block size, no matter what update passes, is simply not large enough to be able to do that.
Yes.
SegWit helped with that, but it's just not going to be something that I think will happen.
A super chat that I think a lot of people are going to like, a question I think a lot of you guys have been asking, says, but it's like old partners. I don't even know, man. That's a hard one. Old partner Sluck. Says, please show us more TA using Lux Algo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, right now, there's not a whole lot that Lux Algo is showing that I can show you off the top of my head. Now, guys, I'll be honest with you. It is Monday. I haven't had a chance this week to do a bunch of technical analysis with Lux Algo. What I can tell you is this. If we jump onto my screen, Lux Algo did predict this correction. It's turning on right now. Oh, wait a second. This wasn't here this morning. This was not here when we started the stream. This just updated. So never mind. We do have something. Lux Algo actually just flashed a buy signal. How about that?
Hey, come on.
Backing up all of the technical analysis I just said, saying that we're probably going to rally. This literally was not here this morning.
Come on.
We now have a buy signal right now coming from Lux Algo. If you guys don't know what Lux Algo is, it is an indicator pack that has a lot more than just buy and sell signals, by the way. There is so much here. This is just what I mainly use it for. These buy and sell signals, if you just pause and look at the chart here, you will see they tend to be very accurate. This is on default settings, just so you know. Buy signal, you should have bought. Buy signal, you should have bought. Boom, boom, boom. It actually predicted this correction, and I've been waiting for the last 2 weeks to see this strong sell signal that predicted this correction reverse into a buy signal. Looks like it just happened. Thank God for that super chat so that you guys can be aware of that. If you are not already a subscriber to LuxAlgo, you should. The link is in the description box down below. You'll get 20% off if you use coupon code JEB, J-E-B-B, at checkout. I think that's still active. Make sure to try it. It is a great indicator pack. We do not accept sponsors that we do not personally use and endorse.
Yep.
Anyone that sponsors this channel, we personally use and endorse, so you can be confident in them. This is something I recommend. I think it will help you in your analysis. It will not replace analysis, but it is another tool in your toolkit that will give you some help, especially in your trading. Check it out, the link in the description.
Yep. Another good super chat from Chris Davidson said, what are your thoughts on the dynamic range NVT signal indicator, signaling the tops with red and the bottoms with green? I ask because we're in a green zone.
So I haven't done a lot with dynamic range NVT signal indicator before. I will take a look at it, but I probably don't have a lot to tell you right now, so that's something that we can look into some more off stream. It's going to make me do more indicators. There we go. Let's go ahead and take a look at dynamic range NVT. Here we go. So I've never once in my entire technical analysis career used this technical indicator, just so you know. So Tim, if you wouldn't mind helping me out, take a note on that, and I will look into this after the stream. However, this is what we're looking at right here. So this looks like the Bitcoin price being modified by some kind of indicator, by some kind of algorithm. I can tell right here that this is the bottom of March. This looks like the top. Yeah, actually, I can tell what the market is doing from this. So this is being modified some way. What we can also see is it looks like there's some red zones up here calling the tops and some green zones down here calling the bottom. Again, I've never used this, so I don't know how it works, but what I can tell you is this. It's saying we're at the bottom. Every time it says we're at the bottom, we tend to rally. This was a big rally. I remember it. So was this, and so was this. That's all I got for you, but it does look good. I mean, it makes sense based on everything else I've been saying. Goodness gracious, look at all those sell signals from LuxAlgo. Yeah, I can't tell you a whole lot because I've never used it. Looks like it's backing up all the analysis I was doing, which is saying that we're going up.
And even more so, like we haven't even gotten there yet. If you go to the hash ribbons one, ribbons, which we know that we're getting close to a buy signal flashing over there.
Yes, I can show you
hasn't
that.
Happened there
hash
yet.
ribbons is something that I was going to add into tomorrow's technical analysis, but I can show you right now. It is part of the TA that I was going to do. However, I will go ahead and show you that we are converging on ourselves based on the hash ribbons, and it looks like a buy signal might be about to happen. As you guys can see, whenever there is a bullish cross, if you will, generally speaking, following shortly thereafter, there is a buy signal. I will use some vertical lines to make that easy for you guys to see. Here's the cross. Here's the buy. Here's the cross. Here's the buy. Here's the cross. I promise I'm almost done. Here's the cross. Here's the buy. Here's the cross. Here's the buy. And guess what, guys? Looks like we might be having a cross roughly somewhere around right here, which means the buy signal should be somewhere right around there, which is in about 2 weeks. I personally think that we're going to be going up for the next 2 weeks, at least generally speaking, so might be a bit of a lagging indicator in this case, but it is something you want to be aware of.
A good question from Ben Lay. He says, does LuxAlgo work on smaller time frames for scalping?
To my knowledge, I haven't personally used it for that, but I'm pretty sure that's a big part of the reason LuxAlgo was developed, was for scalpers.
Oh, cool.
Let's take a look at the 5-minute chart and see how it does. I can't tell you whether it is very good for it or not because I haven't used it, but I can do some historical back analysis on it. Let's take a look at the last 8 signals it has given. It gave a buy signal at the very beginning of this rally over the last hour. So literally 2 candlesticks into this at 8:30 this morning, it gave a buy signal. If you had to listen to that, that was a 4.3% profit.
That's a good buy signal.
So that's not bad.
Yep.
This buy signal right here was all right. It's roughly 1%. This sell signal right here predicted this correction. It was not a lagging indicator, by the way. It happened before the rally actually happened, before the downtrend happened. Here it did this, predicted this uptrend, predicted this correction. So to my knowledge, down here on the 5-minute chart, looks like it would be pretty useful for scalping. Like I said, I haven't personally used it for that, but you can just kind of pause right here and see for yourself and do some historical back analysis. Guys, that's how you want to test every single technical indicator. You don't want to just use a technical indicator because Joe Schmo from down the road decided that he was going to. You want to look into history and see if it's been effective. These are default signals and default settings. And by the way, you don't always want to use default settings on LuxAlgo. This is an important caveat to make. There is a confirmation sensitivity that is updated, I believe, daily in their Discord server. So you can actually go in here and adjust that input, and that does make it even more useful. So keep that in mind. That is something that you want to tweak. Yeah. So if it's not acting properly sometimes, it might be because you need to mess with that setting. But so far, yeah, it looks like it's doing pretty well. Like I said, you can find that link in the description box down below. It looks like it would be very helpful for a scalper. I don't tend to scalp very much, But if you do, looks like it'd be pretty useful for you.
If someone was going to scalp, where would you send them to go?
I would send them to Bybit. The reason being is because Bybit is one of the fastest growing, largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world that has leverage trading and shorting enabled. If you're looking for a fantastic leverage trading exchange and you have experience and you know what you're doing and you're not going to get burned, I highly encourage you to sign up for Bybit. It helps to support our channel, but that's not the reason we support it. If we didn't personally recommend it, we wouldn't be supporting it no matter how much money it made us. Here's the reason you should use Bybit. Because a lot of people use Bybit, and those people use it for a good reason. The reason they use it is because it has a very useful, very easy to use user interface, has very helpful customer support, and it has all the cryptocurrencies that you're probably going to want to trade. It's very much up to date, doesn't have a lot of downtime. In fact, we saw some major downtime happening a couple of weeks ago, and Bybit was one of the few exchanges that didn't go down. It is something that we would personally recommend. You can find the link to sign up with the link in the description box down below.
Yeah, I think real quick, there's been a lot of questions. As far as Cardano, we're going to touch on Cardano probably in future videos this week, so we're not going to touch on that. Would you really quickly look at the chart on Ethereum before we close out the stream?
Sure.
Telling people what our price predictions for Friday are.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and look at Ethereum. We have one more minor piece of news that we want to talk about, and then we're going to wrap it out.
Okay.
Here's what Ethereum looks like right now. On Ethereum, we have a couple of major levels of support and resistance to pay attention to. Number one, there is an uptrending level of support happening on Ethereum right now. This is constituted by this bottom over here. You could draw this bottom right here on the candle body. Don't really care how you draw it. The point is that it's an uptrend, right? Doesn't actually make a difference which way you draw it. What we also see is that there's a downtrending level of resistance, or at least it was until 15 minutes ago on Ethereum, based on these two levels up here and a level right here. Ethereum, as you can see, is in the process of breaking this as we speak. You're going to hear in a couple of minutes when we do our price predictions that I'm predicting a little bit of a rally on Ethereum, the same way I'm predicting on Bitcoin and Cardano, and part of the reason is because of this breakout that we're anticipating here. We're very far into this symmetrical triangle pattern, and it just makes sense that we would be breaking to the upside and rallying to roughly $2,800 to $2,900. Out on the daily chart, there are a few other reasons to believe that. And one of them has to do with the MACD. You guys can see that there's a bullish MACD cross going on Ethereum right now. Now, it's not as good, it's not as bullishly divergent as Bitcoin is just yet, but it is a step in the right direction. We can also see that the RSI is looking pretty nice. We don't, to my knowledge, have RSI divergence on Ethereum like we do on Bitcoin, but generally speaking, things tend to be looking pretty nice over here. We can also see the Bollinger Bands have the upper band sitting at $2,900. Right now, based on the fact that we're going into a rally, I would anticipate us to rally to the top of those, which would again put us near $2,900. One final thing I'll note is that we have a spinning top here on Saturday for Ethereum. That spinning top spun bullish, and that is a very important sign. We entered indecisive, we exited bullish. What does that indicate? It indicates the bulls are in charge right now. So we need to pay attention to that. That's all the analysis I have for you right now on Ethereum. But if you guys would like, I can do some more tomorrow. Let's go ahead and go and answer Matt C. Super Chat.
Yeah, Matt C. He said, do you think that Bitcoin halving every 4 years will continue to dictate the market cycles? Or will it change over time as the space matures and is more widely adopted?
That's actually a question I was asked on Around the Blockchain, and I actually kind of answered a different question when I was asked that. So I'm glad you asked that, Matt C., and thank you again for the donation. You're single-handedly funding the operation around here, I suppose. I think I've made that joke about 10 times.
Yeah, probably.
I've probably said that a lot. I'm turning into a dad.
We love you, Matt. That's ultimately
we love you, Matt. Yeah. That's our point. Here's the thing. I probably say that a lot, too. Bitcoin's market cycles so far have been roughly dictated by the halving cycles. Roughly a year passes after the halving that the market continues to rally. Is that going to continue? I don't know. The reason is because as the halvings continue, stock to flow rallying doesn't make as big of a difference. Why? And this is why I don't agree with Plan B's model after 2024. The reason is because Bitcoin stock to flow getting above 100 doesn't really mean much anymore, because the amount of Bitcoin being injected into the space after Bitcoin's block reward falls below 3.125 is just not going to make that big of a difference on supply. Let me break that down simply for you in case that didn't make sense. Halvings change the amount of Bitcoin injected into the ecosystem, which changes the supply and demand structure of Bitcoin, which has an impact on the price. The halvings are going to become less and less relevant to Bitcoin's supply appreciation as time goes on, because so much of the Bitcoin's already been mined. There's only ever going to be 21 million. There's already 18.7 million. That extra 2 million Bitcoin is not going to make a massive difference to Bitcoin's supply over the course of the next 120 years that Bitcoin will be mined and block rewards will be posted. All that to say that I think that model will start to break down this decade. I don't think it's going to have the same impact that it did unless it is happening because it's already happened and the culture decides that it will. I don't think it's going to, though. And also, as Bitcoin becomes widely adopted, I think there are going to be much more fundamental reasons that Bitcoin will rally or fall rather than just a halving event. I think it's been very useful so far, but I am hesitant to extrapolate that one prediction out too far into the future.
Yeah. One more super chat, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap up the stream with the price predictions. The super chat from David Breeze says, El Salvador made Bitcoin a legal tender. Since then, the IMF has been becoming proactive. Should we be concerned? Also, is it possible Bitcoin may be discussed at the G7?
So there's three things there. Number one, El Salvador did make Bitcoin legal tender. That is well underway. Since then, the IMF has become more proactive. The IMF tried to hold El Salvador by its foot and say, hey, we're not going to give you I think it's a $1.2 billion loan if you move in that direction. And the president of El Salvador essentially told him, bump off, it's my country, I'll do what I want. And the IMF probably wasn't too happy about that. But good for you, president of El Salvador. I think you're moving in the right direction. Should we be concerned? No. We should be very excited. History has just been made. We should not be concerned in the slightest. A country just adopted Bitcoin. You know, 5 years ago, it was news to get a gas station to adopt a Bitcoin ATM, and now entire countries are adopting them. We should not be concerned. We should be jumping for joy because Bitcoin is doing so well. Also, it's possible BTC may be discussed at G7. To my knowledge, I don't think it has been yet. It might be. I don't know if G7 is over yet or not. I think it is. To my knowledge, it hasn't been discussed yet, put it that way. I'm not exactly sure when G7 is happening and when it's over, but I don't think it's been discussed there yet. It'd be nice if it were.
Yeah. Last super chat,
one.
because this is, don't want to ignore this one. Corey says, I just turned 29 and I understand crypto can change one's lives. I thank you guys for your constant grind. I hope to make enough to take my mom on vacation.
There you go, man.
Nice
Good
guy.
for you, Corey.
Yeah.
Good for you, man. Guys, if you're enjoying today's stream, make sure to hit that like button. Let's see if we can get to 1,500 likes before we wrap it out. We are going to go into our price predictions. But before we do that, I do want to encourage you to sign up for our newsletter. We actually have a newsletter that comes out every single Friday. Every single time that they run the newsletter, our marketing team runs the newsletter, they send out a survey asking people, hey, did you like the newsletter and would you like to read it again? And I think we have like a 90% response rate that says, yes, we would like to read it again. People are resoundingly loving it. You can check that out with a link in the description box down below. It's totally free. It is something that is designed specifically to help you. So check that out with the link down below. Let's go into price predictions.
It's also not too late to hit that like button if you
It is
haven't
not
hit
too late
already.
to hit that like button.
Anyway, so just in case you're new to the show, every single Monday except for the weeks that Jeb is gone, we do a price prediction between the three of us, Jeb, Smay, and we try to predict, which is very, very hard, what the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano will look like on Fridays at 9:30 a.m. It is darn near impossible. A couple times we've been stinking close, but it is impossible to hit it right on the dot. But we give it our best shot, just for our entertainment and your enjoyment. So, what we have this week, very interesting. We got Smay looking pretty pessimistic on Bitcoin. In fact, I think he's pretty pessimistic on everything. But Smay believes we are going to be hitting $36,069 on Friday. Very interesting prediction versus I believe we're going to be seeing somewhere closer to 41,450, and Jeb said 43,000. So let us know what you guys think in chat, what team you are. Ultimately, Smay and I have joined an alliance, hashtag burn the truck,
Oh my gosh.
to fight the hashtag cut the beard,
Hashtag
chop
cut the
tree or
beard, chop
whatever.
the tree. Let's go, Joshua Haynes.
When it comes to Ethereum, Smay is again slightly bearish. He doesn't think we're going that much more than we are right now. He thinks we're going to be at 2,569. You're going to see that ending number be consistent with all of his predictions. But he thinks 2,569. Jeb said 2,850, and I said 2,875. So very interesting race. We will see where we are come Friday. And the last one, Cardano. Smay says $1.69. Jeb said $1.75, and Tim said $1.92. It is Monday, and we are moving bullish, very, very much so. However, we always see Fridays do something crazy, so stay tuned. Make sure you check in throughout the week to update where we are with that, and make sure you're in here on Friday to see who wins that Huddle Trophy. Smay, you want to show them the Huddle Trophy real quick?
The Huddle Trophy? You mean
The Huddle?
The Huddle.
Huddle.
Same
bottle.
difference.
I think I was watching like football like highlights recently, and the website's
do it.
called The Huddle.
That'd do it.
So that threw me off.
One real quick while he's showing you that, a lot of people are saying the newsletter link doesn't work. I just checked it, and you were right. That will be fixed by tomorrow,
Ooh.
but I will direct you in the direction, support@cryptojeb.com.
Yes.
Go ahead and go over there, and one of our team members will get you signed up for that. We do apologize. That will be fixed by tomorrow. I am sure of it. So make sure to tune in tomorrow for
Real
that.
quick, someone
Unless
said,
we have somewhere we can go
well,
for that.
Chaz said, I saw a couple comments on this. They said there was a massive dip last night, and there was a glitch last night.
Was there?
Yeah, well, I mean, Greg texted us this morning. It was like something like, it said that the whole market dropped like 600 billion.
I saw that on CoinMarketCap.
It was a glitch.
No, I sent you that.
Yeah. Well, you sent that or Greg sent
I sent that this
Oh,
morning.
Jeb said that.
No, I
Okay.
sent a screenshot of, I don't know what that has to do with a newsletter, but I saw.
Someone said that. They said we need to touch on that real quick.
Yeah, no, CoinMarketCap, don't want to get in trouble for that one. CoinMarketCap, sometimes glitches out for some reason. It said this morning, I have a screenshot of it, that crypto was sitting negative 66% at 600 billion. That did not happen. Just to be clear, if you ever see a 66% dip overnight with no news, it's probably a glitch. Make sure to fact check that so we don't spread misinformation. Anyway, guys, that is going to wrap it out for today's stream. Like I said, that newsletter link will be fixed tomorrow. The next newsletter comes out on Friday, so don't get in a hurry about that. We will make sure that those links are working from here on out. That'll be added to our checklist. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you are enjoying the show, make sure to like the video and make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that dislike button twice if you didn't like the stream so that we know you really hated it. But guys, that's all we got for you today. Before we go, though, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.